Good afternoon. My name is Randy Wells, and this is Discussion Board Week 5. And today my topic is on Molly Pitcher. The Battle of Monmouth, which was fought on June 28, 1778, between Washington's Continental Army and the British. Like most battles waged during the Revolutionary War, this battle was fought with cannons, muskets, and so forth. It was fought near modern-day Monopolin, New Jersey, and the Battle of Monmouth is noteworthy for a couple reasons. First, it was the war's longest single-day battle, and it featured the largest artillery exchange during the entire war. Second, a most uncharacteristic soldier manned a cannon during the heat of the fighting and helped repel a British attack. This uncharacteristic soldier was named Mary Ludwig Hayes, commonly known today as Molly Pitcher. After her husband's enlistment, Mary first stayed in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, later joined her husband so she could be with him. And this was common during this time period. Many women who couldn't support themselves at home would often just attend with their husbands. General Custer's wife was known to do this on occasion. Mary did this, and according to John Furling's Almost a Miracle, The American Victory in the War of Independence, her husband, William Hayes, was trained under Baron von Steuben as an artilleryman, and so it was his primary job to load and fire the cannon. Mary became a camp follower at one of the many women attached to a military camp to take care of support duties such as laundry, cooking, sewing, in addition to serving as a water girl to cool down the barrels of the cannons. And on that unusually hot summer day in June, carrying water, Mary saw her husband collapse from a bullet wound. Fearless, she immediately stepped in to sponge the cannon barrel and began to load the cannon herself. And she continued this until the end of the battle that day. According to some accounts, Mary herself was nearly hit by a cannonball that passed between her legs, ripping her dress, and she is said to have responded, "Well, that could have been worse." Now, while there exists a considerable amount of historical controversy over the identity of Molly Pitcher and whether this event actually occurred, no less than 3 eyewitness accounts help to substantiate the legend. Susan Casey in Women of Action, Women Heroes of the American Revolution, 20 Stories of Espionage, Sabotage, Defiance, and Rescue, notes how a surgeon present at the Battle of Monmouth, a Dr. Albigence Waldo, recorded an event surrounding a camp follower taking up the duties of an artilleryman after her husband had been wounded in battle. Casey also records the description given by a Private Joseph Plum Martin, who tells of a woman attending a cannon when, quote, a cannonball passed directly between her legs without doing any other damage than carrying away the lower part of her petticoat, end quote. 10 years after Martin's account, the grandson of Martha Washington, George Washington Parke Custis, sketched and described his version of the scene that took place that day at Monmouth, referring to the heroine as Captain Molly. Now, all 3 of these accounts tell of a woman who manned a cannon after her husband had been wounded. And since about 1848, various artists began painting the exploits of Molly Pitcher. In 1848, Currier and Ives painted the heroine of Monmouth, Molly Pitcher. In 1897, the Union Metallic Cartridge Company produced an advertisement for their ammunition featuring Molly Pitcher loading a cannon. In 1928, a U.S. postage stamp was created in her honor, and during World War II, the Liberty ship SS Molly Pitcher was launched. So clearly, the legend of Molly Pitcher has become ingrained in American historiography, and whether Molly Pitcher's identity was really Mary Hayes or Margaret Corbin, as some would suggest, Molly Pitcher knew it would take leaving her comfort zone to serve alongside her husband. And rather than complaining, Molly Pitcher, like Priscilla, the tent maker in Acts chapter 18, verse 3, epitomized what it meant to serve alongside one's spouse for a righteous cause. Thank you.